What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Morning Coffee. I am your host, Asia. I am your host, Asia. Okay, y'all. I'm just looking at the timer because y'all know I gotta set the timer because I'll be rambling. But outside of that, yes, we back with another motherfucking episode. It's motherfucking Asia. It's motherfucking Morning Coffee. Period. All right, so y'all, this episode we gonna go straight into it because sometimes I be having side conversations, but I be forgetting them. I need to start writing them down because sometimes I be wanting to touch on something like, yo, I gotta make a video about this, but I forget. But okay, anyways, this episode is going to be on healing and healing from anything. Honestly, we're going to talk about healing because it's extremely important that people understand the power of healing. And I'm going to talk about that more towards the end of the episode. But as of right now, let me put a goddamn timer on. Starts. Okay, nah, I put that. Let's do a 30 minutes. Let's do a 30-minute segment. But first of all, I want to start off with saying before I get my train of thought messed up that there's two celebrity situations I want to touch on. I want to touch on in regards to healing. I want to touch on Diddy, and I also want to talk about Remy Ma's situation, and it's all gonna tie into healing. But first and foremost, I want to tell the girls use Cassie as a big example on why healing is important. And I'm going to reference her in this conversation because um you can tell that Cassie has been on a healing journey with dealing with her husband, and also she's been on a healing journey because she's now able to speak up about the trauma and um just the horror she went through, right? So I'm not here to debate if it was I'm not here to debate what happened with her in regards to is she telling the truth, she lying, if she wanted it, if she did not, did he should be charged. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to correlate her situation to healing. So I want to tell the ladies how to not put yourself in a predicament to where you have to heal that. Like, that's deep healing. Like, her healing is um her healing is I've been through very much a lot of traumatic experiences, um but her healing is on a different kind of level. And there are women that been through trauma and abuse, maybe the length or even longer than she has. So I want to say, um the first steps to healing in a situation like Cassie is acknowledging that it is what it is. It's abuse. It is what it is. It's manipulation. It is what it is. It's sexual abuse. It is what it is. You were taken advantage of. And the first time you tell yourself that and deeply feel that shit is when the healing process starts, in regards to that type of level of discord. You understand? Like, also I want ladies to take out of that who haven't went through that type of situation. It's extremely important for you to work hard on having your own, because women who have their own do not have to endure a lot of abuse that's coming onto them or has happened to them at a certain age. I want to tell y'all, anytime I went through any type of like seriously like some kind of abuse, I wasn't where I was at in life which means I was susceptible to narcissists, to abusers, to physical abusers, to ancient men. I was susceptible to that because I wasn't okay with myself at that time. If it wasn't internally, it would have been, outside too. Like I may have not been financially stable. I may have not having my, or I may not have been comfortable with myself. So a lot of the times when I was younger and I went through a lot of traumatic things, it was because I was enduring those things to be able to survive. We have to get the fuck out of survival mode as women because you are susceptible to the demons of the world. They feed on women who they prey on women that's vulnerable in what they're going through. Like I seen this girl on TikTok tell a man, she said she told a man that she was homeless and he sent her money and said, "Okay, go get a hotel." She was like, right then and there, I just wanted to tell a cab to turn around and take me back to him. He helped you with a place to stay on the first date. So the first day she told him she was homeless. He helped you with somewhere to stay on the first date, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt out of the kindness of his heart. And the first thing you wanted to do with him is pop pussy. You're in survival mode because you so used to not having shit. The only thing you have to give is your box. So that fast you wanted to fuck a nigga for being human. Y'all gotta get out of survival mode, bro. You gotta get out of survival mode, bro. You have to get out of survival mode, bro. Because when you in survival mode, you use what you can to get what you want. You don't even see things as just natural human instincts, natural human occurrences. You see things as a give and take. If he gives me something, I have to give him something. And a lot of women are in that. I'm not here to blame. And I've been in survival mode before as well. You understand? I've been in survival mode before. But you have to learn that just because someone is helping you, or maybe you got some kind of like extra help from a man, that doesn't mean you have to sell yourself, because at that time, at that moment, you selling your fucking self, right? That's why it's so important for us as women to have our own. And I'm not saying hustle grind. I'm not saying all of that tough, hard shit. I'm saying fight hard for your independence. Fight hard for your stability. Fight hard for your peace, because you will end up like Cassie, going through years and years and years of abuse to where the only person she was able to speak to and deal with at that time that probably helped to be able to heal was the trainer Diddy hired. That is now her husband. Shout out to him. If Diddy ain't hired that man as a trainer, you still would have been enduring that shit. You gotta have your own, bro. All of that shit with women feeling like, oh, I want a man to do this for me, I want a man to do that for me, I want a man. Y'all, I even, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. Because ultimately, a lot of that shit is prostitution. It's okay to want, see, for me, it's okay to want a man to match your energy, match what you're doing for yourself, and have more than you because of you being stable. You understand? Ain't nothing wrong with that, because I'm telling you, I can't deal with a broke man. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I can't deal. That's not it. Because I spend on myself and I invest in myself. So I want somebody to come and either do it 2 times or 3 times. But as a female, you should not allow yourself to be dead broke. Or you going to be out here using what you can to get what you want. And if you're okay with that, be my yes, honey. But understand, you are just putting more trauma and hurt onto yourself. You're going to have to heal later. Feel me? And now I want to use Remy Ma's situation in regards to healing. Y'all see my tattoo doing the peekaboo. um, when you are out here openly taking care of a man because you feel like you have to owe him loyalty. You are unfortunately um hurting yourself if you know you don't want to be with that person. And I'm saying that to say because allegedly Remy Ma is saying that, she took care of Papoose, and I watched his live, and he was saying he wasn't really getting no money at the time, but he was helping her with her dream. And yeah, sure, that may sound maybe matter of fact, I'm going to redirect this situation to men because it just came in my mind, and men healing, right? So men, yes, Papoose may have held her down while she was in jail. He helped her write her rhymes. He did this, he did that. But as a man, and I'm not a man, but I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to be quite honest with the men who's healing from a traumatic situation where he felt like he put more into the female than he did himself, right? As a man, you cannot be broke. You can't be broke. You can't. You can't. You can't. There's no such thing as a man that you are putting more into a female than yourself. I'm sorry, bro. That's the unfortunate situation about men, and um, I'm praying that any man going through that, you have to be very wary of, just not being financially stable enough to deal with a female, and it's unfortunate that love don't conquer it all, but when you live in a society where shit is expensive and we are taught as women that men are providers, you have to provide. Like, and that's not to say like, you feel me, you can't have a downtime. And if a girl don't hold you down while you have a downtime, I get it. Get her out of here, because you should be able as a man to, go through hard times and a female to hold it down. But that hard times don't mean 2, 3, 4, 5 years, bro. You can't. That's absurd. That's absurd. And in a Pat Pool's Remy Ma situation, it's like, from what I gathered, you know what I'm saying? She started cheating because she felt like he wasn't providing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like vice versa when a man feel like he's taking care of a female, and she's like stay at home, she don't do shit. Y'all be always saying that man's allowed to cheat. But when a female say, yo, listen, I've been holding it down, I've been paying my rent from jail. What? I've been paying my rent from jail. I come out, I feel like I don't owe him no loyalty anymore. It's been 10 years ago. And he still ain't getting the money. I'm out. She's wrong. Like I tell her, ladies, men, work on yourselves. Please work on yourselves. Please work on yourselves. If you're not financially where you want to be at, healing is understanding that as a man, you may not be mentally, physically, emotionally where you want to be at. So you work on that and heal. Men need healing as well. You can't, you feel me, jump from girl to girl thinking that that's going to cure whatever you're going through, because you're just gonna keep hitting the same roadblock. You know what I'm saying? So a girl had hit me up telling me her story in regards to her baby father and basically him preying on her, and her being young and he was older or whatever. And she basically asked me for advice on healing from her childhood trauma. So my advice to women that, went through a lot of childhood trauma and maybe feeling like that childhood trauma is still affecting them as an adult and they're making decisions based on that childhood trauma is, again, to acknowledge. I'm always going to scream when it comes to healing the importance of acknowledging something is wrong. You have to acknowledge that something is wrong. It don't matter what you're healing from. You can't go to the doctor with a broken arm and say it hurt, it hurt, it hurt, and don't acknowledge that your arm is broke for you to be able to heal it. You know what I'm saying? You have to acknowledge something is wrong. And with acknowledging something is wrong, you have to now pull out from you what is wrong. And my advice in regards to figuring out what's wrong, if you don't know what's wrong, is to journal or to talk to yourself or to talk to other people or to vent. And don't be the venter that don't realize that something is wrong. You just going around in circles. I strongly was able to see that something was wrong with me when I started to journal and I started to release, because you need to release. And I'm like, oh shit, this was wrong. Now it's time to fix it. And with fixing it, there's many layers to fixing. You can go to therapy, you can go to church, you can speak to a pastor, you can speak to a mentor. You can self heal by, you know what I'm saying, doing daily things. Use Google, use YouTube. There was this lady that I was following on Instagram that every day she would put up a phrase as to what this trauma meant. That helped me a lot, putting words into what I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you don't know what you're feeling or what you went through, and the fact that her definitions meant exactly what I was going through was like, all right, so this is what this is. Let me look it up. See that, oh, this is what I'm going through. How do I fix that? And that helped a lot. There are shout outs to social media. A lot of our parents never healed because they didn't have the access that we have now. So if you have access to things and you have access to information, you can heal yourself. A lot of people die thriving in their trauma. A lot of people die angry. A lot of people need to free their fucking hearts up, bro. There's no abundance that come in your life still having a victim mentality. I'm telling you. Sometimes you won't even realize how much that trauma or whatever you need to heal from hold you back in life. It's about acknowledging and freeing yourself. And let me tell you something. Healing is not today I'm good, tomorrow I'm good. You may be good for 3 days, the next day you crying again. Yo, chill. Spiritually, we call it the dark night of the soul. And I went through a lot of those. But when you come up out of it, you're going to be good. In order to heal, you have to go through it. You have to go through it. You have to go through it. In order to heal, you have to go through it. And my misery don't like company. So a lot of the times when I was going through it, I stayed to myself. Some days you have to just lock yourself in the crib, bro, and go through it. Some days you're not going to be able to sleep. Healing is not, oh, I need to heal. Okay, I know. Is roses and flowers. Nah. And stay away from substances that basically suppress your feelings. People are running away from feeling. What they call that? Emotionally unavailable. Oh, I'm tired. Emotionally unavailable. People are running away from their feelings because they don't like how it feels. When feelings are indicators. Feelings are indicators. Neither you're happy because you went through something or you're sad because something's going on. I am a very emotional person. And before I used to look at it as a burden, but now I'm so happy I'm emotional. I have learned to control my emotions. Before I used to be the biggest crash out. Cause I'll be like, yo, I'm feeling mad. I feel some type of way. Now I'm gonna act on it. You can't do that. You can't act on every emotion. You feel me? So that's what I had to learn. You feel me? Like you can't act on every emotion, but feelings are indicators. Feel. People don't want to feel. You have to feel. Feel, acknowledge, feel through it, and find a fucking solution. Feel. You know what I'm saying? You just can't act on it. I used to be what? I went to jail behind acting up. Okay? So, healing is freedom. Healing equals freedom. And freedom in a sense of freeing yourself from that burden. I tell you, when you heal a part of yourself that has been angered for so fucking long, it feel like a weight lifted off your shoulders because you no longer care about how that makes you feel. You no longer care about how that makes you feel. Like, that's it. You no longer give it life. It's dead. So now you have something else you can focus on that's probably positive, because when you're healing, you understand the beauty of peace and positivity and the outcome of that. Your whole world reflects how you feel. I'm telling y'all, bro. And maybe God through speaking through me right now, dog. On God, bro. When you heal, everything else around you heals. Y'all never seen like, illustrations of when a person's sad, the room around them is like a storm cloud and it's like lightning and it's dark. But when they start feeling better, it feels more bright and you see the shine and you see the sun and you see like the flowers blooming. That's just a picture illusion of how healing is. Stay away from people who don't want to heal. Stay away from them. They will affect your energy. Yo, bro, I'm so tapped in with myself and my whole energy aura, bro. Like, I know when someone is just dark and I get them the fuck away from me ASAP because you are going to affect my space. I give people advice and I tell people on what to do. But after a while, if you want to live like that, I gotta fuck with you from afar because I don't like fucking up my energy. Because one thing about healing, you don't get away. You don't eliminate your bad demons. You just suppress them and you know how to deal with them when they arise, when you're triggered. You understand? And that's another thing people need to understand. It's not about getting rid of your bad demons or getting rid of the things that hurt you in those triggers. It's about being able to control it now. I'm not never going to not be a fucking crash out. I'm naturally just a fucking crash out. But I may not crash out as quickly as I did before. And I may be a lot more patient than I used to be. But I still knock your fucking head off. You understand? Good. So, yes, for me, be wary of people that fuck it up. Now, just to end this off, I know people be like, when you're healing, can you deal with an ex or deal with someone that hurt you? When you're healing, could you deal with the person that hurt you? Or could you deal with the person that hurt you before you healed? Or can you speak to the person that brought that pain onto you? Yes or no? You could heal enough to where you don't hate the person. You could heal enough to where the person existence don't affect you anymore. You get heal enough to forgive because forgiving is godly. But you don't ever have to deal with that person again on a level that you dealt with them at all. I don't ever advise to go back to anyone that hurt you because let me tell y'all something. This is one of my models in my life. If a person could do it to you once, they can do it to you again. So it's not about hating, because hate is an energy. It's not about fuck this person. Nah. When you heal, you forgive. Forgiving is freedom. You understand? But you don't ever have to deal with that person on another level again. I used to think when I was in my healing stage, like, okay, it's no longer affecting me. I could speak to the person. Or, okay, it's no longer affecting me like with an ex or something. Like, I could be around that person. And it's like, no, that don't mean they heal, bitch. They coming on the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So, just to wrap this up, um, world peace. The world needs healing. So, the more you heal, the more it may affect someone else's healing because they'll see the effect of what a healed person look like. But y'all done know is Asia, Asia the baddie. Morning coffee, Asia. Y'all like my hair? Child, this blonde is so hard to deal with. But anyways, my love, y'all. Thanks for watching me. My oats.